Welcome back, students. In previous video we have see what is a collection, then what is a classification, need of classification and the objective of classification have we see in a previous video. In this video we are starting next concept, that is a classification according to the class interval. Let's see what is a classification according to class interval. The data are expressed in number, that is classified according to the class interval. For the data classification we have to make some class interval. Class interval should be cover every items. Class interval should having the equal interval, not so large and the not so small. For example, if any data of the age of the 100% ranging from the 2 years to the 47 years, then classify data, it can be done easily. Let's see what is the classification according to class interval. First point, data are expressed in a number. If data are expressed in number, that are classified into different class interval. For the classification we have to make some class interval. For example, there are 100% ranging from the 2 years to the 47 year. First, the data are expressed in a number. Then second, we have to made some class interval, and that class interval not so large and the not so small, and on the basis of we have to done class interval. In following in above example, the data are classified according to class interval, that is first we have to class interval done at a 10 unit. For example, in first value age of a year, there is a 0 to 10, the number of person 5, 10 to 20, number of person is a 9, 20 to 30, the number of person is 32, 30 to 40, number of person 34, and 40 to 50, number of person is a 20, and the number of person we have to final into 100. That is known as the classification according to the class interval. Simple concept. Classification, for any example are given. Classification, for example, if the data of 100% ranging from 2 years to the 47 years of classification. First process for the classification according to class interval. First, data expressed in numbers. After the expressing in number, we have to done a equal amount of a class interval. But should be mentioned that the class interval it's not a more larger and the not a more smaller. For that purpose, classification interval are done, and that easily classification done on the basis of a class interval. Let's see which terms are included in a classification of class interval. First is the class limit. The class made up of two values, that is known as a class limit. Let's see. In above figure 0 to 10, that are the class limit. Class limit, it is nothing but the class made up of two value, that is known as a class limit. Then lower limit and the higher limit. The lower value is known as a lower limit and the higher value is known as a higher limit. The difference between the upper limit and the lower limit is called as a class interval or width of class or magnitude of a class. Three concept or the three terms we have to see that. First, class limit. Second, lower limit. Third, upper limit or higher limit. Fourth, the class interval, width of class and the magnitude of a class. We have to see that. Next is the mid value or the class mark. The average of two class limit, that is known as the mid value or the class mark. Let's see. Next point is a overlapping frequency table. That concept it is so large. For that purpose we have to see in a next video. Thank you.